recovering is the end of the story. And so that begs the question is like, well, to what degree are we capable of bearing suffering and prevailing? And the answer might be to the degree that we're capable of confronting it forthrightly. And that might actually just be true. And you think, well, how could it be otherwise in some sense? Like, what's going to call the best out of you if it isn't what's most challenging? Because it's not that easy to get the best called out of you. It's not going to just happen because someone rings your doorbell, right? You have to be shook to the core before you're going to undertake what's necessary to make the sacrifices that are required to put you in alignment. That doesn't happen with no reason. So are you grateful for your suffering as a consequence of that? I don't know. That's a high standard, man. That's a high standard, and maybe it's unrealistic. But
I think one of the things that faith brings us to is, and we were talking about it when we were in the chapel in the friary, is that when we look at the cross, and it's very Catholic, is that we always see Jesus there, that the corpus is there. And because you talk about in your chapter about what does it look like to transcend suffering, and what does that individual look like? And in some ways our businesses are similar, right? People are bringing their brokenness to you, and they bring their brokenness to me. But I believe in a God that can transform that. So I was asking myself, well, what does that look like? And I recall a priest that I met in Africa, and I believe what he had was Lou Gehrig's disease. So by the time I met him, he was no longer able to really move his arms or legs very well. And we were praying that the Lord would heal him in that. And then he began to share his story with me and what had taken place in he and his community in the midst of his sickness, in the midst of his suffering.